Do you want a Dragon Ball Z remake? That is the question that we're asking today because it may be happening whether you like it or not. Dragon Ball Super Broly was an amazing movie. Visually, story-wise, it was a straightaway action flick that showed us Dragon Ball really wants to capture not only the aesthetic of Dragon Ball Z and the animation style of the 2000s and the 1990s, plus Akira Toriyama's own personal manga style, but also it wanted to renew the Dragon Ball Z villains or the Dragon Ball Z story elements from the movies. This is something that Dragon Ball Super Broly set on the map, Shintani bringing a style that looked very similar to what Akira Toriyama had done before, and it was a mixture of that and some of the best quality styles that we got in Dragon Ball Z. But this wasn't it, because Dragon Ball Super Superhero one-upped it entirely by having a good 10 minutes of that movie be a recap of Dragon Ball up to that point, where the beginning of the movie had a completely different animation style than the entirety of the movie, where the beginning was a remake of everything we've seen from Dragon Ball all the way through Dragon Ball Z in a style that looked kind of like Shintani, but a little closer to the style that we have been used to with Dragon Ball back in Dragon Ball Z. But also, they were basically showing us, hey, this is what Dragon Ball could look like if it was being animated right now. And this is something that Dragon Ball Daima has taken by the horns and basically shown us Dragon Ball Z looks really good with what we can do now, and if we can put money behind it. The entire first episode of Dragon Ball Daima just showed us the greatest hits of the Buu arc. It was showing us some of the greatest elements in the events of the Dragon Ball Z Buu arc, just reanimated in a style different from Superhero or Broly, but still in that same Akira Toriyama Dragon Ball Z flavor. And with the remake of the Super Saiyan 3 transformation sequence that we got in Dragon Ball Daima episode 19, it is clear to everyone that they are testing the market, testing the waters on whether Dragon Ball Z should be remade in the new format, should be remade in 2025 and beyond. Because whether you like it or not, these sequences are coming more and more often now in the animation. Dragon Ball Super really had no reference, barely any reference, to anything that was going on in Dragon Ball Z. But since Dragon Ball Super Broly, it's all been about Dragon Ball Z. It's all been about Dragon Ball. And that leaves us with the question, will there be a new Dragon Ball remake? Well, that's a question that Piccolo Damayones has been asking on Twitter in a viral tweet that says, the buzz caused by the incredible visual quality that we were served for episode 19 of Dragon Ball Daima proves one thing to us. Yes, we know that the rights holders have often spoken of the fact that in the past, Toei's fault was not to look at what was happening with competitors who could sometimes surpass them by far in terms of production. We have examples over the last 10 years with JJK, Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, Frieren, SNK, or OPM, etc. Now that the visual quality can hope to reach the level of the previously mentioned animes, all that remains is to work on scenarios that are worthy of being called as such. This entire opening paragraph is just a shot at Dragon Ball Super, how it looked, how it needed to be changed several times over in the first two seasons, Battle of Gods and Resurrection F season, because a lot of the animation was really bad quality, horrible quality, and they weren't looking at their competitors where they're bringing some grade A cinematic animation to just an average episode of Jujutsu Kaisen or My Hero Academia or whatever. Dragon Ball Super really didn't do that until I would say probably the Tournament of Power, certain scenes in the Tournament of Power where they actually put some money behind the animation. I mean, look at this sequence right here. This is a sequence of Goku powering up to Super Saiyan 3 in Dragon Ball Super compared to Dragon Ball Daima. You can tell where the budget was and how much of the budget the animation got in Dragon Ball Daima compared to the same similar scenes in Dragon Ball Super. We therefore have two choices that will be offered to us: a remake of Dragon Ball with this quality that made us dream in certain episodes of Dragon Ball Daima or DBS SH Introduction, 100 episodes, no more, the storyline we all know, and that's what made it a global success that continues to be talked about, or new productions, manga, anime with original, surprising scenarios which can compete with what has currently been done for several years. See the manga, anime previously mentioned. So two roads we can go down: the road of just remaking Dragon Ball Z 100 episodes and keeping it very similar to what the manga had, and then just putting it out there for the next generation, basically, so the next generation can have Dragon Ball to grow up with, and they don't have to look back at the older Dragon Ball. They can look at this new one, similar to what Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood did, or what One Piece is currently doing with their remake. Or we can go down the route of making new stories, which is a plausible route, seeing as how superhero is the extent that we've gotten. Actually, the Dragon Ball Super manga, as of right now, is the extent that we've gotten with the Dragon Ball story so far. But there are other stories that can be told, but I don't think that they're going to animate anything that we've gone over like granola or cereal anytime soon. And this is where I have to add my personal touch. I think we will never get there, and that's why I think that the best thing to do for Toei and Dragon Ball fans is indeed a remake. And even Dragon Ball Perfect Shots chimed in here saying, Toei should start to preparing a remake for the 45th or 50th anniversary of Dragon Ball, make Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball an anime with 150 episodes and 100% faithful, accurate to the manga and Toriyama's new ending. Also, Toei needs to start the pre-production of the continuation of the Dragon Ball Super. In fact, they have the perfect chance to correct the mistakes in the manga and make something slightly different or much better. Nakatsura or Shintani as designers, Kobuta and Takahashi as chief animation directors in both cases, absolutely 100%. Those are great people to actually put on a project like this. I think that this is a solid take. I'm going to leave a link to Piccolo Damayone's Twitter account. Go ahead and check it out, guys. He creates Dragon Ball animated manga, so if you want to see the manga just animated, this is the guy to go see. Great take, honestly. I think that it's either or. If they have the resources, maybe both. But if they do a remake before they do anything new, it's because they're trying to buy time for the manga to go ahead even more. Although we have Granola and Moro, and that, to me, that's like 150 episodes right there. Maybe 100 episodes, I would say, of two manga arcs that would need to be animated, in my opinion. 20-minute episodes, about 100, maybe 80 episodes. I think that would be perfect for both of them, but I don't know which way they're going to go. Let me know which way you would want Dragon Ball to go in the future.